Hello. Now
we need smoke to come up. When you come on, we need smoke.
Dun, dun, dun. So, well, I hate to contradict the great Alex Jones and the great Steve Bannon, but he was contradicting himself when he says they're not quite, referring to the deep state, they're not quite at checkmate yet, and at the same time he said it looks like the people's parties are 80% winning everything.
Not quite 80%. I guess, yeah.
So which one is it? So it sounds like the good guys are not quite at checkmate yet.
Right.
It doesn't seem like the bad guys are even close to being checkmate. I think their queens are already wiped out, Hillary Clinton, and the coven is being taken out. Arden from New Zealand is one of the coven, by the way.
Yep.
So for him to say, but you know, Alex Jones lives off the fear porn. That's the reality. So he sees the positive writing on the wall. He's saying that, but I think his statement is contradictory, in my opinion, because I believe that the good guys are getting close to checkmate now. But is that true when we see a picture that you're going to show of Rosenberg's funeral later? So we're going to unpack that too. Very interesting stuff.
I think that what we're really seeing is there's very few pieces left on the chessboard. Getting close to the end of the game. You know, there's only a couple of pieces left, and it kind of feels that way. And what he's kind of alluding to is that if you look around the world, you see Australia has a populist government now, right? They kicked Ardern out and they got her out, and you're seeing that, you know, is going to happen in Ireland because Ireland's off the rails right now. And about to happen.
A lot of complaints on the audio. I don't know what's going on, Robert.
What's going on with the audio?
They're blowing it up in chat right now, saying the sound is all jacked up.
I missed the wire. That's what they're saying. I missed the wire somewhere. Let's see.
I'll sign language right now.
All right. Audio's really bad. I don't know why audio would be really bad, but all right.
It's you guys so scary. I guess we're like.
Let me go and check. You can entertain them for a moment, and I'm just going to check this real quick.
That says audio is changing voices, so I guess we can have fun with it, guys, right? Since the audio is changing voices. I want to saw the that was alright. Okay, so it sounds like Darth Vader or Dracula. Which one is it, guys? Okay. So, anyways, it's very interesting if you can hear me. I'm gonna go through this. Right now, we have the competing narratives on everything that I'm seeing, which I think is fascinating. I believe Twitter X is the most amazing place right now for exposures. It's actually blowing me away what we're seeing going on there. So if we can continue to watch X and True Social and Rumble, although I'm going to have some challenges with Rumble too, I believe those are the things that we're going to forward. Here's the good news though. Statistically, when Elon took over Twitter, which is now formerly known as Twitter, now X, the narrative or belief system on, well, Biden is great, all the deep staters are great, so on and so forth, was way up here. Now, just since Elon's took over on Twitter, with the polling on there, the narrative's completely flipped the opposite way. I'm not saying it's a conservative platform by any means. I'm saying, though, it looks like they're trying to get the truth out evenly displaced. And I think that's a huge, huge deal. And ultimately, isn't that just what we want, guys? We just want an even opportunity, a fair playing field for somebody to hear a message. That's all I want. And just got rid of a troll. Boom. Love it.
They're saying you sound like the devil. I can hear the audio is really bad, and I'm not quite sure.
Interesting.
What it's doing.
So again, this is another...
Is this a Rumble issue again, like we had yesterday? We lost the recording disappeared.
It seems like we are being hacked on Rumble like crazy, and unfortunately, it looks like they've been very successful at it. Are you listening on your channel?
Yeah, I'm listening on my channel.
Okay, my channel also, so it has to be attacking our feed then.
It's something out of the feed, exactly. Interesting. So I'm checking my bandwidth here for the feed, and I am really topped out at 75 megabits upstream, which is like times what we need, so I'm really good there. Just looking at the numbers.
Yeah, it's a loose wire, they say.
It's a loose, I wish it was just
my wire's loose. It's my wire that's loose.
Boy, they can barely hear us. This audio is horrible. You know what I want to do?
What if you bail and come back in, and I stay on here? Will it maintain it?
Let's see here.
Because if I do it, it won't do you any good.
That won't do me any good, yeah. But I'm going to cancel the stream on Renegade Media and just see if it's a stream connection that's wrong.
Bobby Shaw wants me to say, I like you, but you're crazy.
Alright. So I've turned it off, and I'm reconnecting it.
The force is strong in this one. I'm leaving.
Take me about
on
15
a
seconds.
jet plane. See, I'm a puppet right now to chat. Everything they tell me to do, I'm doing.
And you're having fun.
Yes. Yeah, I am your puppet right now. I see the strings.
Oh, guys, I apologize. We don't normally have these kind of tech issues, but...
You said I can hear anything. It just sounds scary. So,
it does sound scary. You're right, it does.
So this is, we're revisiting Halloween here. Well, let's just go for it. Maybe it'll correct itself. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just kind of concerned that we have an error that we don't know what the error is. Okay. No, it's worse. Well, being that we had the problem with Rumble yesterday, I'm assuming that it's a Rumble issue again. You know what we can do is we can go into...
You're saying baritone voices. You don't have anything set where the out would adjust our bass, would you?
No. No.
Okay.
Everything is same as it always is.
Talk with a higher pitched voice. I could do that. How is that? It's wonderful to see you guys today. Yes. All right, let's see how that worked out.
Can you pop over to my Twitter feed? It's at Robert Imrelli, and see if the feed there is correct. They'll tell us whether or not it's just a Rumble issue.
Yep, you got it.
You got it. I like that. Nope. It's same thing on CloudHub. So it's coming from us. We've got a problem on our side. Okay. And I'm starting it again. It's just restarted. So it'll recatch now because now it's going up to... there we go. We should be streaming again. All right. So let's see if that helped any. If that didn't help, then we're going to have to do something else.
Yep, I'm waiting. Still frozen on Rumble. I'm just waiting for it to come live.
Okay.
Again. Still frozen. That's not good.
Boy, we are really monotone. Crazy voice.
on the people who are live, they're going to hang in here because we're saying they're stay here and chat.
Yeah.
But you're going to lose everybody that's not live because it's still frozen. So it's not, your feed's not coming back through.
No, it's coming. It's back on my Rumble channel, so it should be on yours too.
Weird. No, it hasn't been on mine. It's frozen. Interesting.
Well, what is going on is the question. Why is it changed so dramatically?
Now it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's jacked up.
It's really jacked up, huh?
Well, I think we're going to have to bail on this show.
No, we don't bail. We don't bail.
Can't put out content like this.
40 for 1.
Yeah, we're already down 20% on viewers, just so you know.
Did you start a new one?
No, I went back to the same one.
Oh, okay, because that one's already been...
Published.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's see if it comes back up because I've just started streaming again. We pushed the go button because we got to figure out these issues, right? It's going to be like 15 seconds before it pops up, but I think it should pop up. They all say streaming, so we're streaming.
Cool. Not on my side.
54 people waiting. I'll let you know when I see it too, because it's coming. It's got to come.
Yeah, we're good. We're good to go.
We're good to go. How's it sounding? Good.
Are you on your channel?
Yeah, my channel hasn't come up yet. It should come up though in a second.
Yeah, we're fine. We
Okay.
can roll.
Whoo!
So, welcome back.
Welcome back, friends. Thank you for your patience and hanging in there with us. That was a weird issue. I haven't seen that one come up before. There we go. 5x5. That's what we're waiting for. All right. Let's see where we are.
Now, what's interesting for you that are watching a recording, you missed the last 17 minutes of a messed up deal, because I'm looking right here. It actually cut out that 17 minutes, so that's good, Robert.
Oh,
So
cool.
just start from scratch.
Cool.
Hello.
Hello and
to
welcome.
FBG.
We're not going to play the Alex Jones video again. We're not going to go there. Hey, let's get right into the crazy news that we have today. The story we talked about yesterday, Lewis, about Trump's attorneys looking to get access to the J6 documents.
And I said it's not going to happen, but we'll be able to use that to show the cover-up.
Not going to happen. And sure enough, we look at what happened today, and it comes out that, sure enough, it didn't happen.
Yep.
Lawless Obama Judge Chatkin, I don't know how to pronounce her name, denies request. So this is an update. CBS News on Monday denied Trump's request after his lawyers had asked in court to approve subpoenas for records from the National Archives and Records Administration, the House Administration Committee, Benny Thompson, the Democrat chair of the House J6 panel, and others. Attorneys for Trump allege there are missing records from the now disbanded committee. I think some of them are not even in Congress anymore. Some of them are gone. That they would like to for pretrial preparation. But members of the committee say there's no missing material, of course. Of course, what else are they going to say?
Of course.
Right?
Not. No, there would never be.
No, we would never misplace anything. Why would we do that? The former president has pleaded not guilty to 4 felony charges, accusing him of trying to overturn the election results. Trump's attorneys had asked Chutkin to recuse herself from the case, but she said, no, not going to do that. You were right. They're not going to get access. But, here we are.
Well, I'm a broken clock, so I can be right twice. So there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, it's I believe a lot of this stuff is optics anyways. And the idea is put it out there, even though you know that this is a deep state judge, get denied, and it's just another building block on the mountain of evidence that we're creating to show you that there's a deep state. So either way, it works to the advantage of good guys.
It does. It's kind of fascinating that here you got an opportunity to really get in and expose some of this stuff, and of course they're going to deny that because they don't want to be exposed, which we thought. And what it does, it just makes us realize even more how much it's fake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or chisel, my whizzle.
There was a report about Deutsche Bank, too, and they were saying about the other Trump trial in New York City, where they're trying to take away his business license. They're like, we weren't harmed. We actually lowered his assets. He came in and he said it was, $2 billion, $4 billion, whatever. We cut it in half. And we said we still did the loan because he was so successful at making projects profitable. There's no case here.
No.
So,
and that's Deutsche Bank.
Yeah, Deutsche Bank. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. What happens now. But it appears another case falling apart. Kind of cool.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
Well, the deep state's clearly falling apart.
Yeah.
It's interesting to watch. We're in great times now, and that's why on our previous segment that is going to be gone off of this recording, we were talking about. Alex Jones is saying the deep state's not quite at checkmate. And I said, I think we should reverse that narrative. And let's say the good guys are not quite checkmating the deep state, because the deep state is flying and floundering right now. And they're drowning. They're barely keeping their head above water. And we can give a lot of credit to the white hats. Yeah, but I think we, the people, are now stepping up and the heat is on.
Yeah. Yeah, no question. And we got to keep reminding everybody about this. It's like we're making little progress, but we're making progress, right? So the worst thing that can happen is reverse progress, going backwards. We're not going backwards. We're going forward. Maybe not as fast as many of us would like, but we're still going forward.
Yeah, I mean, mathematically, let's say we take 5 steps forward and 4 steps back, we're still progressing.
+1.
Right.
Yep.
That's right. Every 5 steps, there's +1. And what we have learned in most cases, not all cases, in most cases, once you're awake, you pretty much are always going to be awake.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Once that curtain is pulled back.
What's that?
Once the curtain's pulled back and you can see who's there.
Yeah. Well, if you opt back into that madness, you probably have a psychological problem.
Well, how could you? How could you possibly opt back into that madness? Anything that's going on and you start to be aware of what's going on. It's like, how in the world are you going to do that? I mean, they're starting to push the narrative now, the WHO, UN.
Yeah, but then again, we are in Southern California, so we're more susceptible to that, and it's still, to me, it's less than 15%
Yeah.
of the people. So we've pretty much won. We just have to keep doing the work to cross that finish line.
There were a lot of stories in our backstage. Like one of them was that if you take out all the absentee ballots, Trump won all 50 states in 2020. That was fascinating, right?
I read that, and
Yeah.
well, I've been saying that forever,
Yeah.
that Trump won all 50 states, and people think I'm freaking crazy, but we do independent polling all the time, just asking people, through. When I say we, I mean we as Screw Big Gov and the huge team of people. They're always just talking to people and asking people, and they can barely find anybody that's a Biden supporter, and if they do, it's still probably under 20-30%.
Yeah. Interesting. So this is
Yeah.
from 2020.
Well, it's very common that a person in a Ferrari will actually pick up ballots from ballot boxes.
Or Chrysler 300 for that matter, right? Okay, I get
Yeah,
the van. The van I get. You got to put 130,000.
there's
How
no
do you
red
fit
flag
130,000 ballots in a van?
There's no red flag there at all, right?
God.
Oh my Lord.
100% of them for Biden too. It's like, really 130,000 votes? Wow.
Well, see, everybody should do the math. So let's give Biden, let's say he's 60% of the vote, which we know is not true, right? But if he's 60% of the vote, if you check the odds, that means the first one that they look at, there's a 60% chance that it will be Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the next one they look at, I believe it goes down to, I don't know, like an 18% chance. And the next one they look at, it's if they 3 in a row, it's so it's a diminishing return on it, where after 10 it's almost virtually impossible for them to be consistently Biden, right? But nobody thinks in the terms of math. That's why data is so important. And this is where Lindell and Doug Frank did a good job exposing data trends. And it's very, very important. Data trends are extraordinarily important because it will tell the truth. And this is why I've been saying since 2020 that President Trump won every single state. And now suddenly it's a revelation. But we've been we always deal with this, Robert. We say it 3 years ago, and now it's a revelation. So go back and look at the report. Look at our film, guys. 3 years ago, we're saying Trump won everyone, but it was based on data trends that I was looking at state by state. And if you look at data trends, they virtually never reverse themselves, right? They may taper off, they may go even, you'll have little anomalies, but you don't ever have a U-turn. And in virtually every state, there was a U-turn. And so the data trends said that President Trump, even in Hawaii, which is the one that shocked me the most, won the state. And I think almost all of the counties, which is crazy, right?
Well, the truth is the Biden voter didn't show up, even if, because they didn't really want him. He was not a great candidate. He didn't campaign. He didn't raise any expectations. He didn't get people excited. He didn't do any of the things that a normal candidate would do. And you just use your eyes and you saw that. Did you see a Biden parade anywhere? I never saw one. I even saw a Biden lawn sign. I'm in California like you. Never saw it.
I saw a parade of children running away from him.
Yeah, literally. But, in Newport Beach, there was boat parades, several of them. We know our friend Sean Farish was setting up the parades there in Long Island. One end of the Long Island to the other, 10,000 cars, ultimately. I mean, you saw there was some excitement about 2020. And to have it pulled away like that, it's like people still... common sense would dictate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know. Do you believe that there could be a 97-mile parade in little old Arizona for President Trump, yet he lost that state?
He lost the state, yeah.
I'm saying, I would say, but you believe that?
Yeah.
Do you really believe that?
Crazy.
Come on. Don't be an idiot.
No, and the more this stuff comes out and it's trickling up, it's really thankful that we have Twitter. And I never said that before because Twitter to me was a garbage. It was a dumpster fire. Again, I got up to 20,000 followers there and I stopped because it was like, this is crazy. It was just horrible to be on there. It was so negative and so nasty before Elon took it over. And then there's still a lot of nasty on there, but it's not the same. There's just a
no,
lot of
but
good content on there now.
here's the beauty, though. Where the nasty is, the conservatives are fighting back now,
Right.
and they're
Because they
having this,
can. They're not going to be shut off. They're not going to be kicked
right,
off.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're not a fear of being shut out, but they have this dialogue. Elon Musk pretty much just said Pizzagate's real.
Yes, he did.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
So, guys, you know. Okay, so that the guy sitting all the way in the wheelchair over to the right, that's Jimmy Carter, supposed to be, right? And they actually, right before this picture was taken, I guess this is breaking news, but they had some college students that they caught. They were playing beer pong with Jimmy Carter's mouth. And so the college students, they had to usher out of there. They're not considering it a federal offense because it wasn't an act of president, but they did say it wasn't cool to play beer pong with President Carter. Now, the reason why I feel no remorse whatsoever, because this guy has been, I will absolutely bust on that dude. So, anyways, put the picture back up, Robert.
Pictures back up.
So that's Jimmy Carter all the way to the right. Mm-hmm. And then, so if you go left to right, that beautiful person with a lot of light around her, that's Melania Trump in gray. That's Michael Obama in next to her. So
I heard when Melania met so-called Michelle, they fist bumped and she said, "Hi, dude."
Yeah, I think that was right. You know, and in fact, Melania said, "Now that Trump's in office, you better sack up." And then Big Mike said, "I already am." So you have Melania there. Then you have Big Mike. Then that's Laura Bush, and then you have Hillary Clinton's double right there.
She's too short. That's not Hillary Clinton. That's way too short. She's about a foot shorter than she should be.
Then you have Bill Clinton,
yeah.
And then you have Jill Biden, and then you have Biden's actor there. So let's unpack this really, really quick. Notice most people there are all wearing black. Melania Trump's wearing gray. And I don't think she's wearing white yet because we're not quite dark to light. We are in that gray area of transition. In my belief, this is a calm. But I love that she goes there and she wears gray. Now, if you look at some other pictures, the light is shining on her like crazy. I don't know if it's from a skylight or whatever. There's only one other person that the light's shining on, and it's about 7-8 rows back from Melania, same side on the edge, and that guy just happens to be wearing all white. I'm really curious who that is also. So I do think there's a lot of comms here. So here's the question that we have to ask, and this is where we have to have the tough questions. So we're watching these people. Are the deep state, are they all alive? Are they doubles? Are they wearing ankle bracelets? What are we really looking at here? Maybe it's a combination of both. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think this is part of, just like I said, with the previous showing everybody coming off the plane and getting in the cars. You have one armored vehicle, you have one that's not armored vehicle. It's all very odd. And I think it's supposed to be very odd. I believe that we're in the confusion part of this awakening on purpose, because it's whatever the left hand's doing, the right hand's doing something else. And I don't mean that in the Freemason way. But I do believe that the white hats need to divert attention and get a lot of conversation over things that probably aren't very important because there's a lot going on. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like it's really hard to know.
And that's the one that they're using there. It's really, 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 really weird. And, you know, this is going to be interesting. What if that is the original Bill Clinton? Let me tell you why I say that. Because that's the one guy to me that hasn't changed. He's just getting older and older and older and older, right? What if he is one of the only ones that fully agreed to this agenda. We already know he hated Hillary anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he's wearing an ankle bracelet. He'll be held accountable. What if he is one of the ones that actually made a deal and he's playing his part here? Because he's the one that doesn't seem to have changed. And the way this was set up, I think it would be pretty hard to do CGI with all these people. So I'm going more as if some are doubles, some may not be doubles. But we're being very honest here, guys. We're telling you that it's confusing. And I know you're going to be, there's some channels out there that they're going to act like they know everything. Oh, it's exactly this going on. Or you'll have what we call the semi-mainstream that won't even go down the double route whatsoever, even though they know that's going on, right? Because they want to keep their viewership. We're telling you that we don't have a clue what's going on, but it's very interesting to unpack it.
Yep, very much so. And there's more here than meets the eye. And you're right, it's not CGI because there's too many angles and there's too much lighting issues. And CGI really needs a more controlled environment than outside on a tarmac. It's not going to work that well for that kind of technology. But the actors certainly, and you could see if you look at Bill and Hillary, no hand holding, not close. Okay, there's a marriage of convenience. We know that. It's always been that way. There's no love in that relationship, right? They're competitive more than they are lovers, and Bill going out and going after every girl that he could find. So you see that as like, okay, so you may be right. Maybe it is still the Bill Clinton, but the Hillary Clinton, gone. Not there anymore.
Yep.
I'm with you on that.
Yep. I have somewhere on Rumble, guys. I had the only video out there that actually, I believe, proves that Hillary Clinton was in handcuffs. We stopped it. We slowed it down. We zoomed in on it. We did everything we could. It's back a few years ago on this channel, but they got her. I honestly, though, we have some information that she was taken during the Obama administration, believe it or not. And
that video was during the campaign, yeah.
Right, and she was put back on as the body double. So that's so who got her?
Hours later she came. Everything's fine. Like no, not the same person.
Yep.
Now I saw that video you did. You did a great job of slowing that down and backing it up, and giving us all the pertinent points there. It's true. Yeah.
Yep.
Hard to deny it when you see it.
Which got deleted on every channel, by the way. So that was a repost on Rumble.
They don't want the truth out there. It's just not what they do. They want the truth. What are you thinking, Lewis? They don't want the truth. That's not what they're here for.
You need to stop that stuff.
Yeah, stop the truth. Come on. Go along with the narrative. If you don't go along with the narrative, you're in trouble. I mean, that's just the way it is. So to our friends in Pennsylvania, their water system got hacked. It was kind of interesting on the weekend. This is from CBS News. Municipal Water Authority of Aliquippa, I guess that's the way you pronounce an Indian name, said on Saturday that one of their booster stations had been hacked by an Iranian-backed cyber group. And I love the sign they put up on their computer screen. You've been hacked. You think we really need that? Matthew Moats, the chairman of the board of directors of the Municipal Water Authority of Aliquippa, confirmed that the cyber group known as Cyber Avengers took control of one of their stations. An alarm went off as soon as the hack had occurred. Well, of course, the machine's not working anymore. Motz noted that the station located on the outskirts of town monitors and regulates pressure for the Raccoon and Potter townships and stressed that there's no known risk to the drinking water. The machine was hacked. The machine that was hacked used a system called Unitronics, which Motz said is software or has components that are Israeli owned. Interesting.
So when they say hacked, what exactly was the outcome of the hack? Did they just stop the water from flowing?
Well, it's a pressure pump, so yeah, they just shut it down is what they did.
Okay.
So they got in, they changed the code so they displayed that screen so nobody could get in there and reboot it, start it up again.
All right. So it's not as if they were saying that they could put chemical weapons or anything. But that being said, one of the most ridiculous things I think in the United States that our systems and our aquifers are open. They're open air systems. Like, we've proven that we can build massive buildings.
Yep.
Why are virtually every aquifer in the United States open air?
And
I mean,
unprotected.
you could fly a drone over and you could just poison everybody.
Well, we're doing it anyway. We're doing it to ourselves with chemtrails everywhere.
Yeah,
Where do you
but
think all that stuff's ending up? You know what I mean?
yeah, but I mean, I'm talking anthrax and crazy
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it to me, it just, they could protect the American people. They choose not to protect the American people,
right.
and they being the deep state.
Well, we've got great border security. Border Patrol is stopping all these bad guys from coming in. They vet everyone. So, we're pretty safe here in this country.
Yeah,
You think about it,
they're definitely not using forklifts to raise the fence.
No,
And
that doesn't happen. That
usher
and
people
GPS,
through.
given the migrants GPS coordinates to know exactly where to come in, where the forklift will be. Come on, that doesn't happen.
They wouldn't do that. That's a myth. just just like Trump won. It's just another myth.
Yeah,
Just to give them amnesty.
yeah, just to give them amnesty. But there's more because the border is wide open, and we see the trains of them coming up and coming up and coming up, and they're coming across at thousands a day coming in.
So I want to act like I really don't know what's going on. So I want to throw a bit of common sense in there. And this is what you can ask your liberal friends. So what happens if you give 30 million illegals amnesty? Is that going to mean more or less are going to run to the border?
Look at what happened in 1986 when Reagan did it. Right? The number doubled of the number of illegals that were coming across.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're looking at evil incarnate when you're looking at Mayorkas anyway. So people really have to understand how we need to articulate the conversation. And it's our job to start talking to these people that believe this, because they'll just parrot the narrative. And you just say, okay, hold on a second. I hear you. Do you think if you get 30 million people amnesty, do you think more people are going to rush across the border or less? And they have an aha moment. Oh, wait. And it's amazing if you can start asking questions and get people to think for themselves.
Yep.
That's how we have to break this narrative.
Yep.
And what happens is conservatives traditionally, let's call them patriots. Screw the whole conservative thing. Patriots traditionally don't like to have these uncomfortable conversations because they understand that liberals get triggered and then they go, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore.
Yep.
Guess what, guys? That's okay. That's okay. Because there will not be a country for your liberal friends and family members if everybody stays asleep. So we have to, unfortunately, take that risk and be alienated from some people temporarily. They will come back. I believe they'll come back.
As long as you do it with love and you don't attack them and call them idiots, you know what I mean? We may think that, and we may feel that sometimes, but, you don't do that with your loved ones. You don't do that with your friends. You just ask them questions. And literally, that's how they start shifting. We've seen that over and over again. Lewis and I have been doing that since the beginning of this. And we go out and we ask questions, and you get to the point really quickly where they have no more answers.
That's
Right?
exactly right.
Yeah.
It's exactly. And it's so funny. I have that same exact deal with atheists. So when somebody says, I'm an atheist, and you're like, okay, so how did the planet get here? Oh, it was the Big Bang. I go, okay, cool. So two big, huge rocks out of space crashed together, right? Where did those rocks come from? Okay, they came from originally planets. So where did those planets come from? And I just keep going backwards and probably, I don't know, something created it. I go, aha.
Something.
So something created it. I see. So it's the same thing with these narratives that we hear. You just ask enough questions and you take them backwards far enough where they don't have an answer. And a lot of them get frustrated. Well, I just don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yep.
That's a trigger. That's okay because you planted that seed.
And the truth of the matter is they can't go very far because most of them are listening to headline news anyway, and they don't have very much information. So one or two questions, and they're already in the weeds. There's nothing more they can do, especially when you're watching a show like this, where we're giving you the facts, we're giving you, different perspectives on things. You could stand toe to toe to these people without a challenge. You have the knowledge, you have the information, right?
Yeah. It's really not that tough. I would suggest you don't tell them, you ask them, because what I have learned that people always answer themselves truthfully unless they're psychotic. They answer themselves truthfully. They may not tell you the truth because they don't want to give you that win, but inside they answer that question truthfully.
Yep. Yep. Don't lie to yourself. What do you know about Stephen Hovenick?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What's a Stephen Hovenick?
Stephen Hovenick, senior Pentagon official, Stephen Hovenick getting arrested.
Actually, this is why I say when you have some people say that nothing's going to happen in November, December, I disagree. I think this stuff is just coming out because you know what you can't, you may white hats, you may be able to control the white hats, but you know who you can't control anymore? We the people. And we the people are doing the work, and there are actual, I have to give credit where credit's due. There are some local sheriffs and police agencies that are actually doing the work now too. This is very, very huge for us. The whole narrative is falling apart. Did we show the tweet from Elon Musk on Pizzagate yesterday?
No, we did not.
Okay. I don't know if we have it here, but it's extraordinarily interesting. He's pretty much telling you guys that whole Pizzagate debunking was fake news.
Yep.
And that we need to look into that. And that's a big deal because there's a lot of what we call normies on Twitter or X, and they're going, maybe we should look into this stuff, guys. The narrative is moving to our side so quickly. It's very, very exciting. Very exciting for me.
You had said
I'm chomping at the bit all the time.
Yeah, and you had said that we're going to see and it looks like we're seeing more and more of that. This is a pretty high level guy. This is no slouchy guy. This is pretty high level. I mean, he's in charge of all the education.
Ultimately, though, Robert, is he high level? Because he's got at least 3 or 4 people in the Pentagon above him, right? And then you have congressmen and senators, but
he's not a staffer. You know what I mean? The really low level. He's sort of mid level then.
Yeah, I hear you. But this is what's going to happen, and the reason why I said this. Sorry about my dog going off. I don't know why he's going crazy, but the reason why I said this is because this is how they get the evidence on the baddies. Now, the public evidence, because here's what I think's happening. Actually, is I actually believe that we have it all, as they've said, right? I believe we have all the evidence, but the reality, according to the way the law works, even the good guys obtain the evidence illegally. So they have to go through these public processes to show the exposures and get somebody to testify against somebody else, and they chop off the bottom and it goes all the way up. And then they justify these arrests or these next few months.
Yep.
I believe that's where we are. I hope that's true.
It certainly looks like it. And I'm going to give kudos to Zoom. One of the first things they did with their AI was block dog barking. So your dog barks, and we don't hear it.
Are you serious?
Zoom cuts it right out.
Too.
Yep. Well, that's what it happens with a lot of people. So Zoom, one of the things they wanted to do, they get rid of coughing. So when you cough, gone. Bruce often coughs on our show too, and gone. Wiped out. Dog barking, that's another thing. And I wonder about kids screaming though. I haven't heard if that one works yet.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids to
scream. But yeah, we didn't hear the dog at all. There was total silence. It completely muted it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Thankfully, we have these technologies. See, AI can work for the good too, you know?
Yeah. Well, here's what's funny is I came out about 3 years ago and upset a lot of people because the narrative that Zoom and TikTok are run by China, therefore you can't trust them. They're stealing all your data and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, all I know is Zoom has never gone down. And I was able to produce all my content through Zoom.
Yep.
And at the time, out of all of the platforms, TikTok was the least suppressed than all the other ones.
Yep.
I said, so could it have been a deep state narrative from the rhino conservatives, right? Trying to keep us away from Zoom and keep us away from TikTok because those were actually exposure tools. Again, it proved out we were right.
Yep.
That's what it appears that was going on, because I've never had an issue with Zoom not putting my information out. and TikTok seems to let a lot of stuff flow, and some things they don't, but they were way ahead of the curve when it comes to that.
Well, what I understood about Zoom is some of the software was written in China, but the company's not Chinese. So who knows if it still is or not. I know they use WebRTC for the video transport, and that's open source. Wirecast has a WebRTC. There's a lot of people that use WebRTC. That's an open source software. So it's peer-to-peer, so we're not going through a server. This is why they can't cut you off, because Zoom is not actually seeing this feed. They're connecting you to me, and we're connecting peer-to-peer. We're not going through any server.
Yeah, interesting.
Kind of safe. I kind of like, some of these technologies. All right, there's a video that came out today. This one is kind of telling. It's the MAGA protesters at January 6th. Lewis, it just kind of blows the narrative out of the water, doesn't it?
Well, I was there. We saw it firsthand. I saw an officer fall. I saw the officer next to her do nothing, and I saw a patriot put out an American flag so she could grab it and helped her up with it. I saw another one get knocked over by an officer, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody that was smaller, more diminutive, and sure enough, somebody went down with her and picked her up. Both cases were not officers. Both cases were patriots, right? Saw it firsthand.
How much longer before it completely falls apart? And we can come out and say all these cases need to be redone and all these prisoners need to be released. I mean, we're kind of there, right?
Well, but here's the problem. We still have obstruction, and many people are going to be very upset with this, and the obstruction is from Mike Johnson. He said he's going to release 40,000 hours, right? And what are they up to? 4,600, 5,000 hours at this point?
Right.
Come on. What are they holding back? Dude, do it all. To me, you're a deep state shill if you don't just put it all out there. Yeah. So he's clearly trying to control things right now, and everybody got on the Mike Johnson bandwagon. And I said at the time, I go, take a deep breath, hold back, let's see where this really goes. Because the first thing he said is, I'm in full support of Israel, and we're going to fund them, and we're going to try to see if we can get money back to Ukraine. I'm like, put on the brakes, let's see what happens. So he may just trying to be appeasing us by putting out less than 15% of all the videos. So when all 40,000 are out, okay, then I'll give that dude credit. But right now, be careful of jumping onto these bandwagons because they've never proven to be legit.
Right. No, I felt the same way about him when he first came up. I'm like, but it was fascinating to see 100% of the Republicans voting for him too. I'm like, really? That doesn't happen. That's not normal. That doesn't. Something there goes a red flag. It's like this doesn't make sense.
Yep, didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah. Something's playing differently than it should. All right. We did that one. Let's talk about, there's a guy that looks pretty svelte in this little jacket here. Still on sale, by the way. Tell us about this amazing jacket.
Who is that guy?
Who is that guy? He looks great.
Yeah. So the number one thing that jacket tells you, it's really good covering up for fat bellies. So you got to go get one now if you have a belly like I do.
That's right. And it doesn't include the red hoodie underneath, though, does it?
No red hoodie included. So that jacket is a beautiful, beautiful jacket. We're very, very proud of it. That logo that says Screw Big Gov on there is actually embroidered, fully embroidered on it. The jacket's rainproof, very warm, great pockets. It's a zip up. I would recommend anybody get it, and you can get 20% off right now if you go to screwbiggov.com/swag and just use promo code GET20OFF. Get 20OFF, and you're going to get 20% off of it right now. And I believe you're going to get 20% off of a lot of other products there, except the Remember Your Oath, because we already put those up at cost.
Yeah. There's just some of the other photos of the people wearing those jackets. Everyone looks so good in them. Be part of the team. Join us.
Who are them good-looking peeps?
There were some good-looking people there. No question. All right. BLM co-founder. You know what he's doing? You'll never guess what this BLM...
He did this. He did more for the black community in his time in office than any Democrat has done for God knows, 40,
Right.
40 years, 50 years previously, up to Kennedy. So it's very obvious that the Democrats and the demon rats play this disgusting game where they virtue signal, they coddle up to any community that they can to get that vote, and then they just do nothing for them.
Yep.
Which is true racism, by the way. My wife sees it all the time. She's had people. My wife's Mexican, and she's had people. She's a hairdresser. She's had people in her chair that actually say weird stuff. Like they make assumptions that she has to be a Biden voter, or white people apologize for certain things, and she flat out she goes, and they do the virtue signaling, and we got to help you up, not empower you and say, you're awesome, you got this. No, they hold them down and they go, oh, everybody else is against you. We're going to help you out, right? It's just disgusting.
I did some work in Harlem, New York, for a company that was involved with banks. Banks were going there, giving people loans to start small businesses. And the people that were in that room, I had conversations with them, and funny white guy walking through Harlem is kind of fun, And one of the things that I quickly was shocked about was that one lady I talked to said, "I'm a third generation living here in Harlem. Nobody in my family has ever had a job or started a business. We've always been on welfare. Third generation on welfare. Not working. Wow. System's not working." Right.
But what better way to hold somebody down that have them on the government teach?
Yep.
So you only really have one job. And your one job is make sure you vote for the people that keep feeding you.
Yep.
We don't want to empower you because we don't want you to be the best you can be.
Yeah. You to be dependent, and as more dependent you are, the more controllable you are.
That's exactly right.
So people, if you're thinking about, do I have to become wealthy? Do I have to start a business? The answer there is absolutely you do. Why? Because you want your independence. You don't want to be dependent on, because the truth of the matter is that, people give their lives to jobs where they would be replaced in a heartbeat and they wouldn't remember them 2 days from now. Right? It's hard to come to that conclusion, but that is. And when you start living on the government handouts, you become dependent on that, and you lose your ability to think outside the box or go create. And I saw it in Canada. I mean, I grew up in Canada where they have, national health care, and all these things are paid for. College is paid for. Your health care is paid for. Your taxes are 50%, 60% or higher, depending on your bracket. And what I saw was when my relatives got into their 60s and 70s, they're mostly alcoholic. Why? Because the sense of self-worth is gone because of all these things being handed out to them. Crazy. Crazy. But you realize how important this is, especially for males, how important it is to have the feeling of accomplishment. I seek that every single day. I can't go to bed unless I've accomplished something. Have to have that feeling. Otherwise I feel like a failure. Can you imagine going through your whole life never having that feeling? I couldn't imagine.
No. So I'm going to tell one of my favorite stories here. One of my favorites. And I guess I'll use this as the prop. This is a cup. We go through life, and this cup is filled with two types of oil. One is heavy oil. One is light oil. The heavy oil represents all the wonderful things you think about yourself. The light oil represents the oil of everybody else that praises you. Okay? So think about it. When you trip up in life, your cup is going to tilt. Boom. What's going to happen? You think the heavy oil, all the wonderful things you think about yourself, is going to fall out? No. All the light oil will come out because you're counting on what other people think. When you can give a damn about what people think, and you are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are made in God's image, and you have everything that it takes, your cup is filled with heavy oil. You are limitless and you can accomplish anything. So in life, if you fill your cup up with heavy oil and you trip, no big deal. Your cup's still filled. You get up, you move forward, and everything works great. We must fill our cups with heavy oil. And the deep state tries to do exactly the opposite. They try to get you to count on everybody else filling your cup with light oil, knowing that they can trip you up anytime that they want to. to make you messed up with. That's why there's so many conditions through the medical. Oh, everybody has anxiety. Everybody now has depression. Nobody's accountable for the result. Everybody's sickness. Everything is contagious. Because they have to constantly break you down. If you fill yourself up with that heavy oil, nobody can take you down, and you own it. You have all the power.
Lots of great comments in the chat about that story, Lewis. And for some reason, we have 666 watching on SBG at the moment.
Boom.
There's your number. There's your key, right?
Yep.
Where's Carol when you need her? Carol, what is 666? What does it mean, really?
It's
Carol Maureen Friesen.
I believe.
What's that?
It's an angel number.
Yeah, it is. I just wonder what the meaning is behind it, because it's kind of interesting. It's still stuck there on 666. I'm watching it. Kind of funny.
Very cool.
Yeah. So tell me how pilots flew into the Pentagon. I don't get it.
I think they had wings, right?
I had wings.
There's no way you could have the best pilot in the world would have trouble flying a fighter jet at that low altitude into the Pentagon. So I think it's even bigger. It's scary stuff. But this is how we're breaking these narratives, and these videos are starting to stay up in multiple places. It's a big deal. Just remember, guys, FBI is not your friend.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I'm starting to believe that many of the three-letter agencies have good and bad sections, and there's infighting within them. So I'm now under the impression, because I'm watching the FBI do a lot of good work now, but I still can't trust them based on the dealings I've had with them and what we've seen. Right. CIA. I don't feel that anything good's coming out of the CIA currently, but I could be wrong, right? There may be some good people within the CIA, but definitely it's the rank and file and below. But we have to pay attention, because some of these three-letter agencies may be coming around, but we'll find out. I'm not all in right now, I can tell you that.
Well, in any group, you take any group, you even take the Patriot group, there's good ones, there's bad ones, right? You've got everything in there, and every group's going to have that, and take the good with the bad.
Don't get me started on these false patriots that we have running some of these channels.
Yeah. Well, some of them are in it for the dollars, and we can see that clearly, and some of them are really in it for the vision of hey, let's really make this country great again. Let's get back on track, and let's make things the way they should be.
Yeah. Agreed.
Know the difference, people. Know the difference.
Before we clear, I can tell everybody in 7 minutes, I will be on the Ethan Lucas show on ethanlucas.com. If you're watching a replay of this, I'm sure he'll have a replay over there at Ethan